Hey guys, welcome back to Latoski Family Farm. Today we're going to be extracting some of our honey out of the supers that we pulled. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get right into it. Beforehand we did go ahead, we scrubbed down the entire floor, hit it with degreaser cleaner, came back over, sanitized it. We sanitized all our equipment and we hung up all this plastic in here. So we also have hair nets, beard guards, gloves, so I'm trying to keep this process as clean as possible. We do have Max Ant's mobile uncapping tank, so we'll be using that today. This first batch that we're going to be doing, this is going to be from our hives here at the top. We're going to go ahead and do this separate so we can keep the two batches separate, and then we can kind of do a comparison and do a taste test against the two. Looks like we didn't quite get all the cappings here, so do have a few different tools to use here just to make sure we get all these wax cappings off. So we'll go ahead, we'll turn the camera off for now. We'll bring it back when we have all 20 of them done up, and we'll get the uncapping tank loaded up. Well, all right, we got everything uncapped. We only had 12 frames from the hive here at the house. So we're just gonna go ahead, we'll split those up. This is a 20 frame extractor, but obviously we don't have enough to fill that. So we'll go ahead, we'll get these loaded in, and then we'll show you guys it spinning. I'm going to try to get this as balanced as we can. So we'll just try going every other for the start, and then we'll fill in a couple of the extras. think that's about as balanced as we're going to get it. So we'll leave you here and we'll give you a shot of it, turn it on. And then once it's running, we'll go ahead and we'll put that cover back on it. We did let the heat in the garage go all night last night, so all the frames should have been up to about 80 degrees. So that should help them spin out. You see that honey's getting thrown out against the side wall. See if I can get you a bit closer of a shot. Alright, so we'll go ahead, we'll let this spin for a few minutes, and then we'll bring you back when we're going to open it up and let this honey start flowing out. So we do have a strainer on here that'll help filter out some of the wax particles and stuff that fly off the frame. So we'll let that go and run for a little while. We also have some honey in the bottom of the uncapping tank that we'll have to drain out. Quite a bit of that drips down from the wax cappings and that. It's supposed to be about 10% of your yield will come off your wax cappings. We will be weighing all the honey when we're done, just to see what our total yield from these were. We have 10 full boxes of soup, 10 frame supers, and then we had 2 extra frames on top of that. So we'll bring you back when we go to empty out the uncapping tank. Alright guys, you can see we're draining out this uncapping tank, letting that kind of flow down into this bucket. Looks like our bucket's about half full, which is really good for only having 12 frames here. But once this is all done draining, we'll put it on a scale and we'll see exactly how much honey we got. So we'll bring you guys back when we're all done for the day, and we'll weigh out all of our buckets, and then we'll probably start doing some bottling tonight as well. So we'll bring you guys back in a little bit when we're done extracting all the honey. Well, alright guys, we're done with the extraction process. Everything's in buckets now. We've taken the first batch and we've dumped it into our honey bottling machine. We ended up with a total of 320 pounds of honey, and that was from 10 supers. So pretty good yield from 10. So we're just going to go through the process here. It's a Maxant honey processing bottler. It's just got a lever here so we can pull down. This first batch we're doing, there was only 27 pounds. That was from our hives here at the house. All the rest of it came from our hives out in Trinary. So it'll be a little bit slower because it doesn't have the force of all that honey having a full extractor. It's only filled up to maybe right here. There's not much honey in here at all, but most of this honey we'll keep for ourselves, and then our hives out in Trinary, that'll be what we sell to other people. All right, guys, there it is. That is our first jar from the 2025 season. We'll get a label put on these later, and then we'll get that out for sale. Last thing we have left to do, all of those empty supers that we have, there's still going to be some honey that's on those frames, so we'll take those out and we'll get those put on the hives out in Trinary. The bees will go through, they'll clean all that up and take care of it for us. So we'll see you guys out there. Well, all right, guys, we're done extracting. These are all just our empty frames left over from extracting. There's still quite a bit of honey left on the frames themselves, or a little bit left in the wax. There's also going to be some pollen and stuff in there. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to put these back on top of our hives, and our bees get to be our cleanup crew. So they'll go up top, they'll clean these out, and they'll push all that down into the hive. We're also going to put them low enough that if they catch a nice fall flow, they'll have good drawn comb to help work out. So we'll go ahead, we'll get these unbuttoned and we'll get into it. Some of these boxes are just empty on here, and so we'll move those ones all the way up, or we'll just take them right off. If they're starting to build in them, we'll just let them keep them. If there's nothing going on at all in them, we'll just go ahead and pull them off. We're hoping to get a bit of a fall flow and have another pull off from these hives. Definitely won't be as big as what we just got, but if we can get a partial off from them, that's just more honey for us, We do have one hive that's not very happy with us every time we're out here. So if they make it through winter and they're still acting like that, then we'll requeen that colony, because getting swarmed when you're out here trying to take care of your bees is not a very fun thing. And it seems like every time we're out here, that hive just wants to attack me, so. So they are starting to build a little bit in this top box, but they're not putting any nectar or anything in here, so we're going to go ahead and put our extra box underneath that one. And they'll go in and they'll clean that box up nice for us. Get all these center ones done first, then we'll move to our outside. We are trying to put these as low in as we can. So if they've got nothing going on in the first couple of boxes, then we'll put it down below those. Which appear, this colony doesn't have anything going on in this box either. Here rather quickly, we're going to be getting these hives ready for winter. So we'll also bring you along for that whole process. Trying to save our angry hive for last. These bees are still working. This hive's got quite a bit in here. One of these hives needed to have 2 put onto it, and this hive's got a good amount in that box, and they're still working hard, so we're going to go ahead and give this hive the 2. Hopefully they'll be able to fill up 1 extra box. So let's go ahead and we'll pull all these frames out here, and we'll just brush our bees down into the colony. Shouldn't be much up in this box. I really didn't have a lot going on. Just kind of a couple of them on each frame. A couple of these frames they've been building on. They were starting to do a little bit of their foundation. Hopefully they'll get right to filling up then, since they were already starting to go on this one. At this point in the year, they can definitely use all the help they can get. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get them closed up. And we'll get into this last hive. I don't expect there to be a lot going on in this hive because this was the hive that we pulled 2 full boxes off from. It does appear they've got most of this bottom box filled out. And they're packing that in with nectar. That's most likely goldenrod honey right now. That's what our final pull should be. So we'll go ahead and we'll put one on top of that. So we're just coming through and checking a few of these frames just to see if they've got them fully drawn out. Then we'll place this extra one above it. If they're not fully drawn out, then we'll go ahead and we'll place it below it. Or if they're starting to push nectar into one of these boxes. They do have a little bit of nectar going into this box, but I think it would be safe to go below it. Bees have definitely found their way over to these boxes at this point. It's a good thing we're almost done. We're just going to stick our extra box on that hive just to keep things leveled out. It's easier to keep them strapped down and secure if they're all the same height. This hive did end up dying on us. And the other bees have completely robbed it out at this point. But can't keep them all alive. We were trying to avoid having to pay for another queen, so we tried to do what we could to save that. Next year we're going to get into breeding our own queens, so hopefully we'll have a lot less issues with that kind of stuff. This hive here is our angry hive. I'm going to try to give them a lot of smoke. And hopefully they stay kind of calm with us. Last time we were out here, I think they stung me about 3 times. This hive likes to chase me down as well. Alright, we'll come right above that box. You can also just leave these right out in the open and they'll come in and clean them up. But I would rather come put them on the hive, because if they fill more than one box with our fall flow, then they'll be able to use that fully drawn out comb. They put a lot of time and effort into building it. Might as well give it back to them so they can use it. A lot of these supers that have drawn out comb will go on to next year's additions that we're going to put out in this bee yard. So we'll use a lot of that comb to help get next year's bees started. They do build it up pretty quick. When there's a flow going, they'll fill a hive up in a couple of days. But that's all we're going to have for this video. We just wanted to bring you along, show the entire process of extracting and cleaning everything up. This is the final step, just giving back that last little bit of honey to the hives. So we'll see you guys in the next one.